Thank you for tuning in to Miss Tracy and Clarity today. I'll give you a disclaimer before I begin this episode. I believe in the Lord. I stand for the Lord. I believe in behaving godly. Okay? Yet, this world is a real world. Evil is evil. So, this episode is a little raw and uncut. And I don't mean for it to be yet. It is what it is. You know, you have to let kids know what's out here. You have to make them aware of certain things and certain people so they can avoid certain evils. Point blank, period. So, yes, this episode a little raw. But if you can handle it, then continue on. The world is getting stranger by the day. Yet it's always been a bit strange. We weren't just aware at times. We just didn't know. I was 14 years old when Tupac's Brenda Got A Baby video came out. Were we really listening to the lyrics? From my understanding, this video was a true story, and Tupac channeled it perfectly. How could you not feel compassion for Brenda? The family was using her for benefits, and her cousin was doing left lane things behind closed doors. She ended up pregnant with her cousin's child. Incest. Relatives cannot date relatives. You would think that would be an automatic no. Yet incest happens in the black community. And unfortunately, I've seen it. I heard it. I knew about it. And I ain't the only one. Incest is a sin in the eyes of God. People back in the day would say, blood attract blood. Two family members having a child together can put that child at a higher risk to be deformed or messed up in some kind of way. I wish molestation and incest didn't exist. I've seen people, male and female, go through some serious issues because of it. God can heal trauma. Hear me clear. I used to want to be a social worker. I had my mind made up. I am so glad God did not listen to me. There's no way in the hell we could save them all. Yet it's in your power to straighten those lanes up when you know they're crooked. I ask my kids all the time, has anybody touched them in any strange ways? All the time. I ain't play about mine. Yet that devil introduced himself a time or two, according to them. You'll be surprised at what go down at school. Just cause your kid come home smiling and going on about life like everything's fine, don't mean they are. I always made mine feel like they could tell me anything. Hell, I felt like I was going to school with them. Yet I understand how hard it is to heal a broken spirit. I ain't want my kids suffering silently about nothing. My mom didn't know how I was silently suffering at school because of kids and their little thoughts and feelings. I didn't know not to internalize it. They said I was ugly, so I believed them. They called me all kind of names because I was dark-skinned. I didn't know boys would mess with you because they liked you. I thought they really hated me. I ain't understand little girls could be jealous, especially when the little boy they want keep coming for you. I just didn't know. I was the only child. Yet, back to the topic. Brenda's spirit was broken in more ways than one. She was so overwhelmed, she threw her own child in the trash. This is how her story made headlines to begin with for Tupac to rap about it. Brenda tried selling drugs and got robbed and got caught up in the street life so bad, she ended up murdered. It's one of the saddest yet realest videos you'll ever see. What if her parents would have gave a damn? Would it have made a difference? What if her cousin had not crossed those lines with her? Would it have made a difference? I know situations like this throw people off when it comes to God. Yet we have to see evil for what it is. This whole situation was just plain evil. This is what can happen in an unsaved household. This is what can happen when your bloodline don't honor God. You need to check on your relatives. Pedophiles exist. Pedophiles can come in the form of a mother, father, sister, brother, or cousin. That was raw and unreal, but don't turn your head. Don't change the subject. We know the signs. Usually when a young girl moving too fast, 9 times out of 10, that child has been touched. When that young boy moving a little too feminine, you need to check it out. It's taboo. I believe in my whole heart. We have so much homosexuality because somebody went left with a child when they shouldn't have. That's it. That's all. Mama done brought too many men in and out that door. Or daddy done introduced too many girls to that daughter of his. And that's just real. Antoine Fisher. Look at that movie. Those were women. Those weren't men trying to come at him. Those were women. You got to watch them all. Male and female. I don't believe kids are born that way. I don't believe kids are born gay. Miss me with that. God makes no mistakes. He made you the way you are. If you're a boy, he wants you to be a boy. Embrace being a boy. If you're a girl, he wants you to be a girl. Embrace being a girl. One more time. God don't make mistakes. You feel that way because something went wrong in your youth. And you need to tell your mom or dad what's real. I know this is real. I know this is a little harsh. But it's getting too rampant for me. They trying to tell me what to call a man. I'm looking at a man, but you gonna tell me to call you Sheila. No. We not. When you try to control my speech, that's tapping into some whole other stuff. This is getting a little too crazy. I'm gonna say what I want to say, how I want to say it, always and forever. I was born free. I'ma die free. Y'all, I cannot deal with this. Y'all know this ain't right. And the rainbow belong to God's children. It don't belong to the alphabet people. This just ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. But this what happened when cousin and them, auntie and them keep turning their head like they don't know what the hell really going on. I was finna say something, but the Lord told me to pause because I do have a story I could tell, but he said don't do it, so I ain't gonna speak on it yet. Boy, y'all see clearly and y'all be knowing what's going on in these families. It's not right. And then wonder why such and such a dyke or such and such gay. Y'all need to stop for real. And it's mostly the old heads. But anyway, I know someone who admitted to me, he was a male, that he struggled to come out of it mentally because he was touched at a young age. It was his big sister boyfriend. And he was 8. He ain't know no better. You know what I mean? That person was wrong for taking advantage. And that blood is on his hand. Yet, my friend was able to work it out mentally. He definitely liked girls. He definitely liked girls. And in all honesty, it could be why these men so hoish. Because they've been touched. And, they trying to get that feeling away from them. And it's just real, too. This a real ass episode right here. I'm so sorry, but I mean, shoot, I ain't the only one that know this. I ain't the only one that had these realizations. Let's just be real, okay? I want people to heal. Call that thing for what it is. Let these people know, yo, you been done wrong. Come out of that thing. Don't keep sugarcoating shit. And I mean it just like don't sugarcoat nothing. Clean it up. If it's in your power to clean it up, clean it up. Stop sweeping stuff under the rug. That's why we look at old heads as hypocrites now. Sure. Anyway. Like I said, he liked girls. I had 3 girls kiss on me before the age of 13. This is why I always told my kids, no playing house with nobody ever. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Though the incidents happened, I still had my crush on Ralph Tresvant. Yes, the lead singer from New Edition. And I'll be sure, I like boys. I always have and always will. Yet, those girls had evidently been introduced to something I hadn't. Kids imitate what's going on around them. That's why I hate secrets. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. As long as the devil can keep you quiet, he can reign in your life. When you tell and expose that devil for who he is and bring light in that situation, he can't run rampant like before. The evil has to cease. It's your decision at the end of the day. Homosexuality is strange to God. It's an abomination. The Bible says so don't come for this messenger right here. If you tried to tell someone and they did nothing about it, because some of y'all mamas, what's that T.D. Jakes movie? The girl told the mama and the mama was like, well, it happened to me, so you just got to get through it. I hate women like that. I know hate is a strong word, but I could just choke the mess out of women like that. You know what? I remember reading about this lady. This is a true story. I forget how many years ago. It wasn't no more than 3, but homegirl caught her boyfriend doing something to her daughter. She poured hot grease on him. And they locked her up. If it was in my power to free that woman, I would do it. She fucked him up, period. And I give her all the props and praises. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. If you tried to tell someone they did nothing about it, shame on them. And I'll apologize for the injustice that came your way. There are people that care and will have compassion and won't judge you and look at you like you got 6 fingers, honey. It's too many kids being touched out here. Too many. So there are mothers that care. There are officials that will do something about it. So don't look at it as defeat. That devil came for you early to steal the light God put in you. That's it, and that's all. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. So don't hold your head down for nobody or nothing. Turn your light back on, and you decide to win in spite of it all. You can do that. And that's what we call conquering with anything. All things can be conquered in God. All trauma, injustices, anything that brings you discomfort, pain, anger, the devil come in all kind of forms. The $1 million point for him is to steal your joy, steal your faith, steal your belief, show you 1,000,000 ways why not to believe in God. Yet I'm aware of the same arrows, and I haven't been touched by it all. Thank you, Father God, because he know I couldn't handle it. Not that you could, or this person deserved it. I'm not saying that. It's just God knows what will break a person, and what he knows, what you can endure and what you can't. Because something like that probably would have kept my life light out. I just thank God I ain't have to deal with certain things. Yet I'm not gonna play crazy and act like I don't know about fathers that touch their own children and mothers that touch their own children. That sounds crazy as hell, but mothers ain't to be trusted either. Brothers touching their own brothers touching daughters, sisters, and sisters touching sisters. The shit just, and then you wonder why there's so much homosexuality out here. Come on now. You gotta be real with yourself, and I'm tired of looking at it. I'm tired of witnessing it. It just ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. So, if you're out there, if you care, pay a little bit more attention to these children. Cut a couple of rounds of them spades out and pay attention to them children. Go look in them rooms a little more when you're having them parties. You know what I'm saying? Don't play crazy. It's just, be real. Be real with yourself. But anyway, each one rich one, right? Because trust me, if I ever kept your child, I treated your child like they were my child. No mess like that went down in my household. Let's just be real. Clean it up. But anyway, if you have any comments about today's episode, you can contact me at uniquelyt77@gmail.com. That's UNIQUELYTEE77@gmail.com. What's that show? Evil Lives Here, I think it's called. the man that produced the Fugees or something like that. Well, if anybody know what I'm talking about, those that know. This, oh Lord, it just ain't right. So when you see things, speak on it, clean it up. That's all I'm asking. That's what children of God are supposed to do. We are His hands and feet. We are His mouthpiece. Can't just, let go and let God. Well, we'll just pray about it. Yeah. And then you got to do a little more than that sometimes, okay? That's the $1 million point for this episode. Rest in peace, brother, right? Godspeed.